Underway, led by the People's Union USA. They're accusing the fast food giant of backing away from its promises to the black community. Earlier this year, McDonald's quietly scaled back key diversity initiatives, dropping its aspirational representation goals and removing a DEI pledge for suppliers. The company claims it's just shifting to a more integrated approach to inclusion tied to business performance. But folks say, the community say, they see it differently. Now, in addition to that, more than 40 former black McDonald's franchisee owners are already suing the company. They allege systemic discrimination, and they've now joined the boycott. The former franchise owners are calling on the company to keep its promises, renew its commitment, and do right by the black operators who say they were denied a fair chance at success. McDonald's insists its commitment to inclusion is unwavering and says the boycott's claims are misleading. The boycott runs through June 30th. Joining us now is Quinn Rollins, attorney for the plaintiffs, and Kenneth Manning, a former McDonald's franchisee. Glad to have both of you here. First and foremost, Quinn, how many different franchisees are you representing in this lawsuit?
It's approximately 47, Roland, from all around the country, from Florida to Georgia, Illinois. It spans the gamut across the United States because they have a shared experience. And
what is it that they are alleging?
Yes, so we have multiple claims. The big claims are racial discrimination in contracting with McDonald's and racial discrimination in the leases they received. But ultimately, they are alleging that they were given stores that were less profitable in neighborhoods that they didn't necessarily prioritize, and they had unreasonable expectations about what these franchisees were able to do, had unreasonable expectations of timeliness. And some of that is because we argue and allege is because they were intentionally discrimination against franchisees because they were black, like Kenneth Manning.
And when you talk and when they talk about in terms of what's being unfair, are they alleging that the company put them in difficult positions to succeed and provided better opportunities, better locations for white franchisees?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the beauty of the court allowing, ultimately we believe they allowed this litigation to proceed. The franchisees that we represent, the individuals, will have an opportunity to explore all those white owners and create the evidence about the opportunities they received that our clients did not.
Kenneth, where was your store or stores?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Roland. My stores were located in 2 markets, in Montgomery, Alabama. We had 5 locations in that market. And then the next TV market was the Birmingham, Alabama TV market.
So you had a total of how many franchises?
I had 15. I did 15 stores in one night, Roland. I sold 3 of my restaurants to my brother, or at least 2 of the 3 to my brother. We were both in North Carolina at the time. And late 2009, early 2010, I did a deal for 15 restaurants in one night in both of those markets.
No, 1 second. When you say 15 restaurants in one night, what does that mean?
Yes, so I sold 3 restaurants on December 8th, 2009, and bought 15 restaurants on December 8th, 2009 in one night. That's correct.
Okay. And then what happened next?
Well, I picked up an additional restaurant. McDonald's called and asked me to help them out to avoid litigation from a white owner, actually, who was going to sue them in about 2 weeks. And McDonald's asked me to pick up this Centerville location in Centerville, Alabama, which I did sometime in 2011. And I did that. And so that became the 16th restaurant that I owned in that market.
Okay. So you own 16. Then what happened?
Well, I can tell you there was a deal that was offered to me when I took over the 15 restaurants. They would ask me to move up a rebuild of my West South location 4 years earlier than it should have happened, or that we agreed to happen in the contract, in the purchase and sale agreement, with the intent for me to receive another restaurant, the Hope Hall location, which is about 1.5 miles down the road. After picking up the 16th restaurant, I get another call from the QSC VP, the Vice President of Operations, and stated that he was not going to award me that store and that he was going to award it to a white operator some 40 miles away. Of course, I pushed back and said, that's not the deal that we had. And he basically said, well, you're unexpandable. The team says you're unexpandable. The field service team says you're unexpandable. I immediately responded, I'm not unexpandable. And my last operator review suggested that I was unexpandable, said that I was unexpandable. He held to that and said that there were two standards. One, that if you buy a restaurant from the field, you can do that being unexpandable. But if McDonald's offers you the restaurant, you need it to be expandable. I said, well, McDonald's offers...
Hold up. For the people who don't, what does expandable and unexpandable mean?
It means you have an opportunity to grow your organization, right? But
I'm confused. You did that. You went from...
Oh, that's correct.
You went from 1 to 5 to 16. So what did they lay out to you what the definition of unexpandable means?
Well, they didn't. They told me that the field service teams suggested that I was not eligible to grow any longer, which shocked me. Quite honestly, I was offended, particularly since I said to the vice president that you called and asked me to purchase a 16th restaurant, and at that time I was unexpandable. And nowhere had I been notified that I wasn't unexpandable until they awarded this store, and that's the way it's going to be. So I can tell you what happened next, Roland. I saw the global chief of franchising at a meeting in Houston, and he said to me that I heard you making trouble down there in Atlanta. I said, well, what do you mean? He says that you are angry about not getting that store. I said, no, that's not what happened. The vice president has a right to award the store to who he wants to, even if he changes his mind, right? What I was concerned about was that the standard had changed and that he tried to convince me that there were two standards in play here. Now, I can tell you, Roland, I was the what they call the real team chair for the East Division, which was the committee that was an expert on the franchise agreement. Our role was to teach the operators in the division about the franchise agreement. So I was the last person to say that something in that franchise agreement or the rules, that I was not going to be one that didn't understand that. And so when I challenged them, they sent out 2 field service managers to do inspections late on a Friday night at my restaurants, which I told the franchising officer that I thought that was unfair and that sucked, basically. And from there, it just went on downhill.
Quinn, when we talk about your other plaintiffs, and I've heard and I've talked to different franchisees, former franchisees over the years, some complained about that people, first of all, don't understand the process, that most McDonald's are owned by individual owners. They're called franchisees. McDonald's owns the land, but McDonald's also has requirements. And some franchisees have said that they've been asked to do upkeep, to rebuild stores, things along those lines, and that's money that's coming out of their pocket. And so, besides what Kenneth has laid out, what are some of the other allegations that these former franchisees are making?
Sure. So the beauty of this lawsuit is there are individuals who come from different walks of life around the country, but they have shared experiences. One of our clients, he's been very outspoken. His name is Van Jakes. He's a former football player based out of Atlanta. And him and several other of our clients share stories similar to Ken. It's once they started expressing frustration with the unequal treatment, there was retaliation. And that's actually one of our claims, is that in many ways, some of our clients were forced out of the McDonald's system because they were getting out of line, asking questions, critiquing McDonald's actions in contrast with the franchise agreements. And McDonald's was asking them to play by a different set of rules. And that was especially concerning because for many of our clients, they were leaders in their respective regions. And like Ken, they knew the rules verbatim. Some of them helped craft the rules. And it is disparaging when they're asked to do things that other white owners specifically were not asked to do in their respective regions and around the country.
Let me piggyback on that for a second, Roland, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
When I went to sell my 3 stores to my brother, before I could even get it out, when they called and asked me who was I selling my 3 restaurants. There were 3 very good restaurants in North Carolina. Jeff Wilfong, QSCVP in Raleigh, said that he was not going to approve the deal. Not even had I sent the contract up or put in front of him any terms of the deal. When I put in front of him the terms of the deal, they denied the deal and gave a reason that was not a business reason. They went so far as to, after 3 months of going back and forth, conference calls, meetings, they decided to only allow my brother to buy 2 of the 3 restaurants, and went so far as to, and I can tell you, Marty Ranf went so far to take money from the company and give it to the operator who was going to buy the other store that they would not allow my brother to buy, because the other operator did not want to pay me full value. So they put $170,000 into the deal, coded it something different, just so I could not sell my 3 stores to my brother. And then afterwards, I get a letter months later stating from Chief Legal Counsel of Franchising, John Richardson, stating that I could not buy the restaurants back from my brother, when white operators routinely buy their restaurants back and forth from family members. There was no such rule. For a period of 10 years, there was no such rule.
Quinn, there was a period for almost 3 years where McDonald's had a black CEO over the company worldwide. That was Don Thompson. That was 2012, 2015. Please go to my iPad, guys. Come on. And this is Don Thompson here. And the board felt the stock price had not recovered. And so then he was replaced by Steve Easterbrook. Quinn, do your franchisees allege that the atmosphere at McDonald's completely changed post Don Thompson? I know there are others have said that there were a significant number of African Americans who were in senior level positions when he was the CEO, and ever since then, that has changed dramatically.
Sure. I think that the respective clients have different views about their experiences with Don Thompson's leadership, but everybody shares a collective view that McDonald's is an institution, and it's only so much one individual can do. But certainly during the time of Don Thompson, franchisees continued to struggle. Not to say that he didn't put forth significant effort to try to improve that situation. But since the leadership of Chris Kay and Easterbrook, there has been a dramatic decline in the number of black franchisees and experiences. And our clients like Ken Manning can speak directly to what their experiences were during those changes.
Well, it is so again, you have 47 folks who are involved in this particular lawsuit, and so certainly keep us up to date. What happens next as it relates to your lawsuit against McDonald's?
Thank you, Roland.
Thank you, Roland, for having us.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. All right, folks, I'm going to introduce my panel now, bring them into. First of all, before we do that, this is the statement that McDonald's released. It says, quote, "As a brand that serves millions of people every day, McDonald's opens our doors to everyone, and our commitment to inclusion remains steadfast. We welcome honest dialogue with the communities we serve, but we're disappointed to see these misleading claims that distort our values and misrepresent our actions." Now, also, of course, not tied to this lawsuit, McDonald's recently settled their lawsuit with Byron Allen, where he alleged that the company was not doing business with him advertising-wise. And again, that lawsuit was scheduled to go to trial, and then it was settled. Full disclosure, McDonald's previously advertised with us here at the Black Star Network. They have not done so in 2 years, and so the last time they did was in 2023, and that was the last time they did. So that's what happened there. All right.
Hotep, everybody. This is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network and host of the African History Network show. So you just saw the video that I played from Roland Martin Unfiltered from Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, when he spoke to Quinn Rollins, attorney Quinn Rollins, and Kenneth Manning, who is a former McDonald's franchisee. Well, a nationwide boycott of McDonald's is gaining momentum, led by the People's Union USA, as former franchisees of McDonald's file a lawsuit alleging discrimination against the fast food giant. And these are basically African-American franchisees. Now, Black Enterprise has an article dealing with how former Black McDonald franchisees joined boycott against the company. And this article is from June 25th, 2025. And there's approximately 47 former African-American McDonald's franchisees. They charge, quote, overtly racist responses from executives. And they also say that McDonald's has abandoned their alleged commitment to Black communities. And this also centers around McDonald's pulling back on their DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Okay, so let's take a look at this article here from Black Enterprise magazine. Let me flip over to this. Okay, when we look at this article from Black Enterprise magazine from June 25th, 2025, former Black McDonald's franchisees joined boycott against the company. In the article, it says that they will join the boycott amid their own lawsuit against McDonald's for alleged unfair treatment. Now, more than 40 Black former McDonald's franchisees have banded together to join a nationwide boycott against the fast food chain. More than 40 Black former McDonald's franchisees have banded together to join a nationwide boycott against the fast food chain. The news comes amid their lawsuit against McDonald's for alleged discrimination in its franchise program. According to a press release, the franchisors claimed they could only buy stores with lower profits and higher costs. Okay, they claimed that they could only buy stores with lower profits and higher costs. And this is something that you heard former franchisee Kenneth Manning say in the segment from Roland Martin Unfiltered. As the stores appeared unsustainable, they had no choice but to sell to white operators for a lower market value. Quote, when many of us entered the McDonald's franchise program, we discovered the corporation would relegate us only to buying stores with lower profits and higher costs. Detailed a statement representing the former McDonald's franchisees. When many of us tried to buy stores with greater profits, we were denied and had to watch those more lucrative stores go to white owners. While we struggled to make our stores profitable, we were consistently faced with unreasonable demands that white owners did not face. Okay, now this deals with systemic discrimination. One of their claims is systemic discrimination. While we struggled to make our stores profitable, we were consistently faced with unreasonable demands that white owners did not face. And we were consistently denied support and financial relief that white owners were routinely offered. Okay, so once again, this goes to allegations of systemic discrimination. Now, the slew of disgruntled African-American franchisees filed the class action lawsuit against McDonald's in 2023. They also described, quote unquote, overtly racist responses from executives of the restaurant chain. Overtly racist responses from executives of the restaurant chain. They claimed the harsh backlash came from addressing the unfair treatment and ways to boost the store's profits. Now, the former franchisees have shared their support and participation in a boycott by the People's Union USA. According to the online news source Afrotech, the protests against all McDonald's locations will take place from June 24th to June 30th, 2025. It intends to address the company's dismantling of DEI initiatives. It intends to address the company's dismantling of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Quote, so abandoning their stated values is nothing new to McDonald's. They long ago abandoned us, their black franchisees. And by doing so, the McDonald's Corporation also abandoned its alleged commitment to the black communities it relies on for its customers and employees, added the news release. As black entrepreneurs, we tried to build wealth in those communities. We tried to give back to those communities, but we all were forced out in favor of white owners. But we all were forced out in favor of white owners. Now, the move hopes to follow the successful boycott against Target for its rollback of DEI policies sparked earlier this year by faith leaders such as Pastor Jamal Bryant. We know also Nina Turner and Tamika Mallory. Activists Nina Turner and Tamika Mallory were involved in the overall boycott of Target also. The ongoing refusal to shop at Target has led to consecutive weeks of declining sales and decreased quarterly earnings. The People's Union USA hopes McDonald's earnings will face a similar fate. To spark change, they aim to show that the power lies in the hands of the masses. So this is the Instagram handle, the one called Jai, J-A-I, for John Schwartz, who heads up the People's Union USA. Now, the franchisees' involvement in this boycott, this nationwide boycott of McDonald's, also amplifies this mission. They hope it will strengthen commitments to black customers, employees, and future operators. We join the People's Union USA and other organizations and community leaders in calling for a boycott of McDonald's until they keep their promises, renew their commitment to the black community, and finally do right by the black owners and operators like us who deserved but did not get a fair shot at success, who deserved but did not get a fair shot at success. So tell me, are you going to participate in this boycott of McDonald's? What do you think about this? This is an example of African Americans leveraging their economics to enforce our political agenda. This is an example of us leveraging our economics to enforce our political agenda to get equity for these African American franchisees who are trying to build wealth, and they are also more likely to hire African American employees also. Now, McDonald's has released a statement. Newsweek.com has an article dealing with McDonald's response to the nationwide boycott. I want to go to this piece here from Newsweek.com from June 25th, 2025. McDonald's responds to nationwide boycott. In this article, and we're going to try to zoom in on this here. so you can see it. Okay, in this piece by Hugh Cameron for Newsweek.com, it says McDonald's has issued a response to the nationwide boycott that has been targeting its restaurants this week, fueled in part by the company's decision to roll back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. McDonald's said, quote, McDonald's told Newsweek, quote, as a brand that serves millions of people every day, McDonald's opens our doors to everyone, and our commitment to inclusion remains steadfast. Now, I wonder if McDonald's is going to participate in Black History Month for 2026. I wonder if McDonald's is, you remember when McDonald's had 365 Black? Okay, I wonder if those African-American initiatives, if McDonald's is still going to participate in that. So the article goes on to say, since Tuesday, June 24th, the company has been subject to a boycott led by the People's Union USA, a grassroots movement that has accused McDonald's, check this out, it has accused McDonald's of price gouging, exploiting tax loopholes, quote unquote, corporate greed, and of reneging on commitments to DEI. Okay, so they accuse McDonald's of price gouging, exploiting tax loopholes, corporate greed, and of reneging on commitments to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The group, the People's Union, which also orchestrated boycotts of Walmart, Amazon, and Target, plans further action against McDonald's unless the company commits to major changes in corporate policy. This week's boycott comes as McDonald's battles sliding sales in the American market. In May 2025, amid economic uncertainty and dampened consumer sentiment, McDonald's reported a 3.6% drop in same-store sales in the U.S. in the first quarter of 2025. Now, this was the steepest decline since 2020 at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so then they go on to talk about the People's Union USA and John Schwartz. The People's Union USA is a nonpartisan group focused on economic resistance, corporate accountability, and real justice for the working class. They said earlier this year that McDonald's was being targeted for, quote, tax avoidance and known lobbying against wage increases, quote, tax avoidance and known lobbying against wage increases. John Schwartz, founder of the People's Union USA, shared a list of further issues, including the suppression of workers' rights and union efforts, price gouging, and the company practicing, quote unquote, performative DEI with no meaningful change. Performative DEI with no meaningful change. Now, McDonald's responded and said in a statement to Newsweek magazine, quote, alongside our 2,000 local franchises across the U.S., McDonald's provides meaningful work opportunities for over 800,000 restaurant crew, spends millions with local suppliers, and serves as an engine of economic opportunity for local communities. The company told Newsweek in response to some of the grievances expressed by organizers of the boycott. McDonald's went on to say the McDonald's system also generates billions in federal, state, and local taxes annually and will continue to pay our fair share. Will continue to pay our fair share. Now, at the beginning of 2025, McDonald's announced that it would be scaling back certain diversity equity, and inclusion initiatives, retiring, quote, aspirational representation goals, as well as its DEI pledge for suppliers. Okay, so this deals with contracts, this deals with businesses, as well as its DEI pledge for suppliers, quote, in favor of a more integrated discussion with suppliers about inclusion as it relates to business performance, end quote. Now, this reconfiguration of its diversity policies has seen the People's Union USA joined by a group of Black former franchisee owners who are currently suing the company over alleged discriminatory practices. On Monday, this group, and that was Monday, June 23rd, 2025, on Monday, this group announced its support for a nationwide boycott until McDonald's, quote, keeps their promises, renew their commitment to the Black community, and finally do right by Black owners and operators like us who deserved but did not get a fair shot at success. Regarding alterations to the company's DEI policies, McDonald's corporate human resources chief John Nunn said earlier in 2025, quote, we changed some of the language that we've used it around it, but at the core, none of our programming has changed. We've changed some of the language that we've used it around it, but at the core, none of our programming has changed. Okay, so McDonald's goes on to say, we welcome honest dialogue with the communities we serve, but we're disappointed to see these misleading claims that distort our values and misrepresent our actions. Our focus remains on serving our customers and communities. We're here and ready to serve. We're here and ready to serve. So, what do you think? Post your comments here. Have you been boycotting McDonald's? I don't eat McDonald's in the first place. I'm a vegetarian and I don't eat McDonald's in the first place. Okay, and what happens next? The boycott is set to run until June 30th, after which the People's Union USA has called for an Independence Day boycott. Okay, an Independence Day boycott, as well as a month-long boycott of Starbucks, Amazon, and Home Depot. This will be followed by an August boycott of McDonald's, Walmart, and Lowe's. So Independence Day, July 4th, or what Dr. Ishaka Musa Barashango called the 4th of July, the 4th of July. Let's see, John Schwartz, founder of the People's Union USA, also said, quote, the truth is McDonald's built a global empire off low-wage labor, clever accounting, and aggressive lobbying. They report record profits, nearly $9 billion this year, 2025 he's referring to, while many of their workers still can't afford basic health care or rent. That's not opportunity. That's not opportunity. That's exploitation dressed up as service. This boycott isn't about fast food. That's exploitation, according to John Schwartz, dressed up as service. This boycott is not about fast food. It's about accountability. The People's Union USA stands for the growing number of Americans done tolerating corporate greed, inequality, and empty promises. Now, one thing I think is also important to note, that I don't know the exact percentage, but a large percentage of the McDonald's restaurants are actually franchisees, mom and pops franchisees. So it's, individuals it could be African-American franchisees, white franchisees, and they may own 1 or 2, 3 stores. Okay. And the people paying them are the individual owners of McDonald's, as opposed to McDonald's Corporation paying them. The pay rate can vary from from location to location. It can vary as well, from my understanding of this. And then also, I know some years ago, and I've known some McDonald's franchisees in the past from my business dealings. I've known some of them, and none of them, basically all of them, got out of. These were African American McDonald's franchisees. Actually, the guy who owned he owned the most number of McDonald's franchises in the state of Michigan, the largest black owner. I knew him some years ago. He got out of McDonald's also. When you look at the dollar menu that McDonald's had, a lot of the black franchisees could not participate in that because the profit margins were not there for them when it came to the participating in the dollar menu. A lot of the areas that their restaurants were in, the cost of business insurance was higher because they could be in highly populated African-American communities. It could be lower income communities, things of this nature. So the numbers weren't adding up for them. So when you would see advertisements for the dollar menu, usually it would have a caveat and say at participating McDonald's. Okay. Because a lot of the franchisees, and Black Enterprise has had articles throughout the years that talked about how African-American McDonald's franchise owners were having a hard time making a profit. Okay. So this lawsuit was filed in 2023 by the franchisees, but this lawsuit was a long time coming. Okay. If you knew people who were McDonald's franchisees, this lawsuit was a long time coming. So tell us what you think. Post your comments here on the thread of the broadcast. Like, share, comment on this broadcast. I'm historian and national political commentator Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. A lot of people see me every Friday on Roland Unfiltered, where I provide historical and political analysis. I've been on Roland's show. October 2025, it will be 5 years of me appearing on Roland Martin Unfiltered. I'm basically on every Friday. I've made over 200 appearances. I'm a historian, national political commentator, radio show host, talk show host, etc. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook and fan base at The African History Network, The African History Network, and on Instagram and YouTube at Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. Also visit my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can register for my online history classes that I teach. It connects you to, you can contact me through the website also, and you can keep up with what I'm doing, what places I'm speaking. We have that information there. I teach an online class on Saturdays, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what it didn't teach you in school. We have a new class session starting up in the next week or so as well. So we'll have that information on our website. You can also support us at paypal.me/the AHN show and through Cash App, $ the AHN show. paypal.me/the AHN show and through Cash App, $ the AHN show through Cash App. Here is our Cash App tag here. If you click on it, it takes you to our QR code. This helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting, pay some of the bills, etc. Our official Cash App tag, $ the AHN show, SHOW. When you go to it, it'll say Michael. It'll probably show my picture there. These other ones are fake African History Network Cash App accounts that have been stealing money from us. Okay. So that's why I put this graphic here and put the link here, and it takes you right to it. Okay. All right. So look, we have to get out of here. Remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever.